Second part of the video. Hold this. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get everything. This is the sand he was talking about. This is under the mat. Does this look sound wet? Nothing is even damp. What is he talking about? It's dry. Everything is dry. What's that? Dirt buildup. This does not indicate a flood. This is dirt buildup. Yeah, maybe I didn't wash it, but it's not a flood. Especially when the water originates from up here. Was the flood? It would have had to have been up to midway up my car. The engine would have been submerged. Look. This is just dirt buildup. Water gets in here. Some wind blows it this way. Water goes under here. Wind blows it in here. This is open. This is open. I could touch that. The problem I brought it here. Watch it open now. The trunk won't open. That's the problem. I don't even know how to put this. I thought it did. I thought there was a latch here. It was my old one.
Take a picture of the whole that we're here.
I did. I took a video of the whole front of the place and everything. Bag's dry. My bag's dry.
No sand.
Dry. No sand back here. I don't know what he's talking about. Video 3. Because I keep ending the video. Where's your phone? By accident, because I'm very upset right now. Behind the seat, all the way down to the bottom. Bone dry. Everything is bone dry.
The dirt on the bottom. Say dirty car.
It's just a dirty door seat. That's it. Maybe there was a manufacturer leak here, but it wouldn't have flooded the car. It might have been a little damp. This follows this right up. The way this pocket's in, it would come from right here, the weather stripping. Right here. Sand does not mean flood. It means I was at the beach. Cars, look at the plastic on the screen. It's pristine.
Do this. See.
Let me get the fin too in case they say I put the license plate on a different car. Dry, dry, everything is dry. Passenger side, same dirt, but no water drip off. Water here now is from this sprinkler that's on that they parked my car next to. Dry, everything is dry. Showing that it's not wet. This receipt would have been soaked by now. Even if it was damp, this receipt would have been wet. Excuse me.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, this is what pages, we're gonna highlight where you have to do the sign and your initial.
You looking for my
And
keys?
basically sign over
She,
here.
she pulled them out. But I'm not taking the vehicle until this is resolved.
At this point, it's until you get your insurance involved.
I don't want to get my insurance about it.
All right, well, General Motors, I'll pull up the email for you. They are not participating in the repairs of the vehicle
For what reason?
because of water damage.
Where, and you said the vehicle was flooded? Can you show me?
Outside?
Yes.
Yeah.
To be used in the restroom right now, go into the available.
Okay. See, the glass is open.
The glass is open on the side. It's not
No,
open.
right here.
Physically.
It's open physically.
He's talking about that slide.
Right. So you're telling me water doesn't get in there on a rainy, windy day?
Water gets in here, but it doesn't get in here like that. That's
This dips down. If it blows
Right.
in here, it's gonna, the dirt deposit's gonna build up as the water dries.
okay.
This, the drip mark originates from up here. Which
Okay,
would
what about
indicate a
the
leak.
sand
The
underneath
sand is from me going
the
to
water?
What water?
The whole floor is wet.
It is not. The floor is not wet. It is not wet.
Slide the seatbelt with yourself.
The sand is from me going to the beach.
All the way under the seat.
Yes. I use it all summer to go to the beach, to jet ski. And how come you guys removed my memory card from the PPR slot? So you telling me that if this car was flooded, everything would be, there would be humidity in here. Everything, the windows would be all fogged up.
Not particularly.
If this car was flooded, and plus,
My point to you is it was either flooded or you drove it through a gigantic puddle that caused this.
neither. I have PDR footage and home surveillance footage of this car at every minute for the past 2 months.
We showed him the General Motors, the pictures that we have of the vehicle.
The zoomed in picture of this that does not show the watermark originating from up here, which could indicate a bad seal.
You don't have water leak on this side of the car.
Then where's the strip marks originating from up here?
I can tell you. You know all that sand right there?
The sand is from the beach. Yes, it is. That's not even a lot of sand. You should see my wife's car.
This is what we got. This is what we presented to him. I can tell you now that General Motors is not participating in it.
Well, then I want somebody from General Motors to come down and look at it.
Yeah, you can request that.
I did. I already opened the case with him.
That's what I sent them the pictures again this morning. And then he responded back that he will not be
Do
participating.
you think this looks like water damage?
Yeah.
Wait, show me.
Well, we used the bladder to get this open a little bit, and there's water dripping inside the trunk area.
Okay.
So there's a rubber seal around the whole trunk.
Yes.
So water should not get in that trunk area.
So then
Water
something's
got
wrong
in
with
that
the seal.
trunk area.
So then something's wrong with the seal.
The seal is fine and intact,
Then how would water get in?
unless the water level was high.
So you telling me the water level was up to here, where this mark
I'm not
is?
sure exactly where the water level was up to.
And that's the only
I
indication.
know there's
is-
water in the trunk, and there's the trunk mechanism, everything's jammed up.
So then maybe the trunk didn't seal right. Come on, guys, you really gonna do this to me? You guys know this wasn't flooded. You guys work with cars all the time. Really?
That's why.
And then you tried to bring up a point on the other side.
It doesn't matter. My point, I was just, that had nothing to do with your car.
I had to wait. You know how long I had to wait for this
Yes.
car, and then you guys are gonna go and make this outrageous claim?
With General Motors 23 years, I'm not doing anything fraudulent. Sorry.
There is
It's
not.
happening.
Well, you making this claim is fraudulent, because I'll have a third party prove that it wasn't flooded, and then your claim is fraudulent.
This is your paperwork and your key.
I'm not taking it until this is resolved.
You might as well take it because we're not working on it.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
It's something is wrong here. 100%. 100%. We work on 5 of these things a day. Not one of them is coming looking like this with that much sand. You can say it was your feet. Okay, that's fine. You can say it's your feet. But why is it so wet all underneath the seat? I pulled that plastic bag out from underneath your seat on Saturday just for the giggle of it. I lifted it up, and the bottom of it was wet.
Oh, what time was this?
Right after I got on the phone, right before I got on the phone with you.
So that was about closed at 4, about 3 o'clock. Okay, I came here. I got here about 5 o'clock. I took a video, timestamp of that same bag,
Me too.
bone dry.
Me too.
Bone, can I see it wet?
I don't know if it's going to show wet.
It's not because it wasn't.
I videotaped the whole car. Everything inside.
Excuse me, sir. Where am I going to explain?
Not because I
Parts?
wanted to, just at this point.
I'm telling you, the bag's not going to be wet.
Oh, I don't know if the bag. I didn't take it. Like I just said to you, I just walked around the whole car.
No, you just told me that the bag was wet when you lifted
Yeah,
it up.
but not with the fucking video though. And I'm sorry for cursing.
You don't have to, I don't know why you're angry. You know how long I have to wait for
We do
this
this for years and years and years.
Yeah.
I could take you downstairs to a black Equinox that there's 3 blocks away from you that was flooded to the top of the hood.
Do you want to see my ring footage of this car
I
on
know.
that day of
I'm
the
telling
flood,
you what we have
showing
face
you drive?
value here.
This is insane. This is insane.
You want to leave the car here? I'll leave the key in case we have to move it. So you get the insurance involved or whatever you're going to get involved. General Motors doesn't even have a case of one of these having a problem.
Of the trunk?
No.
I have 3 reported trunks on the forum, the Corvette forum.
General Motors has no complaints of that. Am I correct in stating?
Right. The front trunk, there was a problem, not the rear.
I've been in touch with 3 people who had the same problem. Bad solenoid.
Well, it should release with the key.
It did at first, and then a week later it happened again and it
Where's
stopped.
the key? Where's the key on this one? No, like to get into the trunk.
Behind
It's
Oh, it's behind the
yeah,
plate.
behind the plate. That's why I had to play it off
Once it
before.
used to go up.
Yeah. You can see it's still wet when I was able to pry it up.
the deal with them.
Yeah, what are the deals?
I had it East Hills, I think. And then when I called to speak to the tech, at some point he said, "Well, I'm not too familiar with this." So at that point, I'm like, "Oh, I don't want him working on my car." But you guys came highly recommended. My friend came here, he brought the same car. So now what? This car's it's listed as flooded, being flooded.
No, just they're not going to warranty the repairs. It doesn't have anything to do with the title even. Nothing, zero. Nothing at all.
Well, that's the main reason I'm so upset. I thought you
No.
put this down as being a
No,
flooded vehicle.
we gave them no.
That's what my mother meant by making that. She didn't want it to
You
go
don't want
on.
to be a salvage vehicle? No, definitely not. I'm not here to hurt you. That's my whole point.
That's what I thought
tried
you
to
were
explain
doing.
to your mom too, and your wife. I'm not here to. This is not. Let me just. Balls today. No, it's not what I do. I'm here to help every single person. But when I got face value, or I send that back and it's all corroded, I'm buying it, and I have to cut. We have to cut. The only way to fix that car is to cut a hole in the trunk.
They want us to cut a 3-inch hole in the top here
And
to
then-
release the hatch. So it's going to need a whole new hatch.
Yeah. How come you guys?
If we-
How come you guys couldn't, like you said, with the bladder, and then just cut the latch?
You can't get it up high enough. Not in the area where we can cut it. And you can't get this. You can't get the rear
But I'll
bumper off because you got all the screws that go along all over here to get this whole bumper off to even get at it. If we could get this bumper off, we'll probably damage the bumper to take the bumper off. Either the bumper's getting damaged or the hood's getting damaged.
I'm not looking to brand your title. That's not at all.
And without actually getting inside the trunk and taking everything fully apart and really looking at it, we have to have authorization to do that type of work. We can't just if it's saltwater damage or water damage.
So all you guys really need is the okay from GM.
Okay from GM, they denied the whole thing. Any repairs.
So what would if you were me? What would you do at this point?
And you, my insurance company, they'll pay for it. They'll fix it. It'll be done.
But then it's gonna go in my insurance. I don't want that on my insurance.
It's comprehensive. It's not a collision. It's not going to report an accident. Only collision reports accidents to like Carfax or whatever.
So then how else would you show? Because if it wasn't, I'm telling you, it wasn't flooded. So something for water. How else could water get in here if it wasn't flooded?
The water level would have to be up. For water to come out of the top over here, the water level has to be higher than the bumper.
There has to be another explanation because I'm telling you that did not happen. Not even the water's never even been up to here in the car. I dodge puddles with this thing.
without getting this thing open, we can't, you know, if the way it looks, you know, you'd have to authorize us to work on the car, and if it went the other way, then you have to call your car insurance.
So if I authorize you guys to what? Cut it open? Is that what you're saying?
It's the only way we can get into it.
Yeah.
And you cut it open, you see that it wasn't flooded, then what? Maybe there's a bad seal or something.
I don't know. So it's not up to me.
Who's it up to?
It's up to General Motors. The engineer involved. If they get an engineer involved and they want us to get into the trunk, and we got to do that, and then he's going to investigate it. If he finds,
your engineer's going to be here to cut the hole in.
yeah,
For what?
before we even cut a hole in it, if it goes to that point.
So I would like to get it to that point, because I know for a fact this car was not flooded. The water has never been anywhere even
You
near.
know what? I'll make a phone call to Kipper to tell him to come look at the car on his way either home or out tomorrow. Let him
Yeah.
see it, then he can report his findings to them.
Yeah,
He's not going to be able to get in that until we get authorization to tear that car to them.
good.
And then that's going to fall back on you. I'm 110% positive. But if you want, I'll give that the benefit of the doubt and call him and say, hey, can you at least take a peek, drive through, and see what we see.
And who is this? Who would this be?
He's a field
He's
engineer.
the #1 engineer, and he does all of Long Island.
He does like the 3 tri-state area.
Yeah.
I would really like
But
somebody.
we'll do that, and I'll get him involved.
That's the
We're not here to hurt you.
source that we have
I
to
know.
But if we
cover.
see something bad, like, you know,
I understand, but I'm telling you, I have video footage of this on the day of that flood. Of the, I have all day of it footage. The PDR dating back 2 months. Every drive it's ever had the past 2 months. Everything on footage. It's never been even through a puddle. I'm telling you, honestly, nothing ever happened. No flood.
Then we go from there. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
And it's not, again, calling your insurance company, if it comes down to that, it's a comprehensive incident. Nobody here is looking at a brand new title. I promise you that. It's not what we do.
we're not here to hurt you. But we gotta look at things the right way, get proper approval. We don't want to tear open your trunk, and then, oh, you got damage, now call, you know.
I mean, this car's only a year old. This could be the first time you're seeing something like this. I don't think that's that far-fetched. It's a whole completely different redesign. It's the first time.
Documentation of that too. There was issues with these.
Yeah, I was talking to the GM technical assistants, which also put me to the brand manager for the body department that made the car. And they're telling me they've never seen anything like this far.
Well, I mean, it's a no on the Corvette form. It's a known incident with at least.
I don't go by the Corvette forms.
No, but
Because there's a lot of false information out there.
well, they have all the information on what dealerships they go to and everything. If
Yeah.
GM has to see that at some
Well,
point.
there would be a case number and they would see it. And they're telling me there's nothing.
That the trunk won't open.
Nothing with the problem that you can't manually open a trunk. Or that
Well,
it
they
to
didn't
this
have,
point.
They had the issue with it electronically, not manually.
Electronically, maybe, not manually. For everything to be out, we got it up enough that there's a pull handle in there. The pull handle just snapped right off. Wouldn't even pull to release the trunk.
And when would this the technician be able to?
Well, I'll call him today. I'll make the phone call to him.
You gotta see when he's doing and when he's available.
Yeah, that's because he does the tri-state area. He's not just he's one guy now. He used to be 2 or 3.
He's one guy and he's on the road sometimes. He's in another state.
And he'll come down and look at it, and then I'll get a call saying he looked at it.
Yeah, obviously communicate with you. No problem with that. Absolutely. Let's leave it at that for now. You know, you might not hear back from me today, but you'll hear back from me tomorrow. If all comes and falls today, I'll be here to bring you. I promise you that. Just we have to do what we have to do. You're not the only one that things like this happen to.
I know, but never in a million years did I expect to get a call from you saying that it was water damage. I thought you were messing with me at first.
No. I see water in the trunk when I had it tried, you know, and the water dripping.
I mean, sometimes when I open the trunk on the outside of the weather seal,
That's normal. That's normal. But you have a whole thick weather strip that's an oval of the whole trunk, and this thing sunk down more than it should be.
well,
It's
it's the way
it's like it pulls down, and then the motor just everything
the way the issue started was I was just sitting in the car one day, it was idling, then all of a sudden it came up on my dashboard that the trunk was open.
Right.
It came, I looked, it wasn't open. It let me open it, I closed it, still said it was open. I said what happened, because I was getting out of the car, I was going inside, I left it, and then the next day it just wouldn't open. So I'm like, alright, no big deal, I'll open it manual, I'll schedule another appointment. I went I took the plate off, it was turning, nothing popped. But the first time when this happened, and it wouldn't open electronically, when I pressed the button, the lights didn't flash. Now this time when it happened, I pressed the button, the lights did flash, but the manual didn't work.
Yeah, it's like shorted out now. But without, it's covered by carpet, so, prying it up and getting in there, it's still not able to do anything with the carpet or anything like that. It's too risky to break things, so that's where we left off. So let's give him a call.
I'll reach out to him now for you.
Yeah.
Touch base with you best I can. Right now, hang on to the key for now.
Alright guys.
Let's see what we can do. And go from
Yeah,
there.
all right.
Seriously.
Okay.
Never anybody.
We gotta go through proper channels. I don't want to, like I say, I don't want to drill like they're telling me. Last resort, drill a 3-inch hole right here.
That's what GM said to do?
That's what GM said to do to get it open right now. The way everything is. If we drill through this, it's going to need a hatch. I don't even know how available this hatch
Oh yeah, you
is.
probably won't even be able to get it. I'll probably be waiting as long as I waited to get the car.
Yeah.
We can't even change the oil. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, she told me you guys changed the oil the first day it was here.
No, we didn't change the oil. Can't change the oil. Can't open the hood to put the oil in. We drain it out. How are we going to put the oil in?
That's true. I don't know.
We don't want to lock it up on it.
Yeah, I don't want to take a chance with not being able to put the oil in.
I'd rather see it go a little bit over mileage on the oil that way. Believe me, this is going to completely blow the car. I highly doubt we're going to get that anytime soon and then send it out and have it painted and have the collision come, glass properly and everything else.
Yeah, I don't even know how this hatch comes. It's got to come completely stripped down.
It's the integrity in your car too. It's going to go back together the original way. It's your car.
Believe me, I really don't want to drill a 3-inch hole.
I know.
That's what I was trying to see.
And you can't get the bumper off without the trunk being open, right?
Yeah. What I could do, well, I was telling him I got a high wing spoiler to do on the C8 out there.
Yeah.
So when I have the bumper off, I could see where the points are, and if there's a way that I could do it without damaging. But it's like to unbolt this trunk and try and lift it off because it's all screwed down.
And there's nothing like you said, if you had it up a little bit with the bladder, there's nothing a hook tool you could get into the latch to just pop
It
it.
won't release. It won't release. It's locked. It's jammed. It's completely jammed up. And it's even pushed down further than it normally would be.
Spray some lubricant on
You can't even get in there to spray because it's got carpeting covering everything, and that carpeting has push pin clips.
Oh yeah, you gotta pop it out.
Pop the carpet out and then actually soak it to even try and get to that point. It's a real mess to even. That's why I made a technical assistance case. That's why I'm like, is there any other way recommended that I could get into this trunk when all else fails? The key, you can feel the keys moving the cable, but it's not doing anything. It's not releasing it.
Shit.
So that's why I'm hoping maybe later when I get that other rear bumper off, I can see how it's bolted in there and get an idea. Because not only that, this exhaust system goes across the whole back. So that the exhaust system is actually in a way of getting up to the trunk also. And the only way to get this exhaust system off, take the bumper off. They really, when they designed it, they didn't really make it that this is going to be an easy thing if it broke down where electrically and physically you can't get in.
Okay. Shit. So if you did have to drill it, is there any temporary repair you could put over the hole? This way I could at least use the car until the hatch came in, worst case scenario. Even if I took it to a body shop.
Yeah.
Temporary fix.
Yeah, I don't even know how. They could probably screw a hook in there and tie it down. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, just to cover, if they welded a plate.
Yeah, I don't even know what there is inside there to even weld. You got the fiberglass. There should be a metal.
No, I mean on the actual hatch, they can drill the hole.
Right. I don't know what to do now. I have no idea. This is not something. This is the first one I've seen. The first one I've seen where you can't physically. I had one with the front trunk where the solenoid was rotted, and that was.
What if
That has a pull wire to get into it.
you can't, if you drilled out the lock, you couldn't get access to
The lock only hooks up to a cable that goes to the lock assembly. So the lock doesn't mean
He
anything.
was on this all day Saturday. All day.
I was trying to figure this thing out. I even stayed late. I'm like, there's got to be a way. And Friday I was on the phone with technical assistants constantly, like, you know, and they were. I was talking to one guy who's talking to the guy who built the body system.
Did you try to, as it was lifted with the bladder, to use the tool?
Yeah. Believe me.
I know.
Electrically, mechanically, pushing down, you know, prying it with plastic tools on the top.
So if water did leak in from the top, say there was a bad seal or something, water would cause this to happen? For it to seize up like that? Fresh water?
It's electric.
But it's not open to manual either.
Right.
With the cables.
So it's got to be like corroded and seized or something.
That's crazy.
That it won't even release mechanically. The fail-safe mechanical does not work. Well, let me get the field engineer here and go through proper channels.
All right.
We'll try and do that for you and see what we can do. But we can't make any promises.
No, I know.
I'll give you a buzz later, all right?
Yeah,
Sorry to get you wound up. Not our intention.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Believe me, I'm all for.
You know, I'll tell you just a short story, just to give you how deep we have to go into this. A month ago, I had a guy come in, the motor's locked up. Get me the last 7 of your oil change receipts. He brings them in, they're identical. Worded a little bit differently, but they're all scattered on the same pages. Frank's Car Care down in Huntington. So one of them didn't look right. Took a ride down to Frank. Frank, do you have a copy of this one? Oh, I have. My filing cabinets are so far away. My bookkeeper is only here 1 day a week. Blah blah blah. I need it. It's important for the customer. Couldn't come up with it. I got him on the phone. I said, Frank, were you offered money for these from somebody and he gave you money and you just wrote up the oil change stickers? Yes, I did. Game over. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's you. I'm just. This
I
is
wish
the nature
you guys
it's the
would believe
nature of
me.
the beast.
I know.
And
We got to cover our ass because if we
Right.
do the work, then GM comes after us,
Right.
and they take it away from us.
That
They
was
come
an
down on
$8,000
us.
claim that I was getting ready to put through the warranty. And then hold on, this guy hasn't changed the oil in 28,000 miles. 28,000 miles.
I mean, the only thing I'm guilty of is maybe leaving it out a little bit in the rain and it getting dirty and
but
me
it's
not
meant to
cleaning
be
it.
left. You can leave it outside.
I know. I understand I haven't cleaned the inside since the beginning of the summer.
Let's see what we can come up with for you.
Yeah.
I got to get back downstairs.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will talk to you later on.
What it looks like and what it actually is, we will have to have them determine that.
Do you mind if I mess around with the feel of it? Maybe I'll maybe start it working today. You know, pop open.
Yeah, you could try. You
Yeah.
want to get a screwdriver to get
Please,
that
yeah.
off, but
I don't know. Maybe that'll help me out today.
I tried pushing down and having a plastic pry tool as I'm having another guy work the key. Nothing. And you were able to get it open with the key?
First time it happened. This happened first. I had it scheduled to go to a different service place. Then the trunk started working. I called them up. I canceled. I said, oh, okay. The key was working. Then this time, about a month after that, it happened again. It started with the dashboard messing. And then I'm like, all right, no big deal. Worst case, it'll open with the key until I can get it to service. Once I opened it with the key, nothing. I'm like, am I turning it hard enough? I didn't want to break the key. And
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
just handle it. So I posted on the forum to the guys who had the problem with the trunk. And they're like, yeah, no, we could open it manually, but our problems were electric. I'm like, well, now mine is well.
Yeah, yeah, I could understand electrically if there's a malfunction, but this is mechanic. Either it's corroded or locked up so much.
The cable's stuck on something.
But the thing is, like when I had it pried open and pulled the handle out, and the handle just pulled and like broke right off the cable. So inside with the light, with a tiny light, with it pried up and working the key, you can see the cable going in. So it's working the cable, but it's not releasing it.
Is that the same cable that's connected to the key? Or the one on the pole?
Yeah. It's not the same cable.
Oh, but it's
two
just
different,
connected to the
but
same
it's the same system connected. So moving the key moves that cable. I've never seen anything like this.
I wish you guys
This is
would
the
believe
first
me.
time.
I wish you guys would believe me. I've never been charged much with it.
It's not that we don't believe you, but to do this thing right, and he's right. Let's get the field engineer here.
But now, what if he wants to cover his legs and he lies and says, "Oh, it looks like it was flooded."
He's not. It doesn't. He's working for General Motors, so he's.
Maybe he doesn't want it to be known that there's an issue on this car where water gets in the trunk.
If there's an issue, they would have it. They have it listed.
I mean, this could be the first.
It could be the first.
Car's only out for a year.
Right. Could be the first.
And then he was arguing with me that the glass isn't open in the back. I mean, obviously you're the one who knows about these. I don't think he knows much about them.
About what?
The new model, the C8.
Yeah. I mean, we had problems with the front trunk.
That I know. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I don't have no issue with that. Alright, mind if I just give it up?
I don't know where the key.
I have the spare one.
Oh, you had spare? Okay. Let me just get a screwdriver and I'll take the screws off.
Alright, thanks.
Okay.
You drive it every day, not really. 'Cause you had
No, I don't drive it that
1,900
much.
miles on the car. Yeah, so I think the best answer for that is once he tells us exactly what they're willing to do or what they're not willing to do, we can make a decision with you at that point.
Okay.
Again, like I there's certain things I spoke to him about. I said, listen, I told him to get his insurance involved from the beginning. And I think he was under the impression that the car was going to get a branded title for flood damage or something like that. And it doesn't. It's a repair that needs to be done on the car.
I mean, that's not even the reason why I don't want to get insurance involved because it wasn't flooded.
I mean, that's fine. At this point, whatever he's got will give us the end result
And
of which way they're going to go.
Being that it wasn't flooded, there has to be something wrong with the seal. And if that's the case, I want them to know that. I want it to be known.
I would agree with you, but the issue at hand is that trunk lid is pushed down so far, there's no possible way that water would run through it. It's down, like, it's supposed to be like from this side to this side like this. It's actually like your trunk is down.
It's something that we are not seeing then.
I hope you're right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to my fingers aren't crossed that you're wrong.
I know.
I promise
I know,
you that.
I know.
That's first and foremost. I'm a man of my word. I'm honest.
I mean, if
and
the
I'm
car was
integrity.
flooded, why would I bring it here for service? Why?
Well, I think the question at hand was, why'd you come all the way here?
I was recommended to come here.
Oh, that's nice. And I appreciate it.
Oh, I see.
Because in my opinion, I live out by river.
I see what you're getting.
So I
at.
go to 112. I could go to 112. I could go to Smithtown. I could go to Eagle Chevrolet.
No, my friend brought his same car, C8 here, and I asked him, I said, I have an appointment in East Hill Chevy. I'm like, yeah, do you know how they are? He's like, I don't know. I brought my car to Empire, and they were good, except for the fact they left extension, socket extension under my gas pedal. I said, well, that happens. That's no big deal. I said, did you like them? He said, yeah. I said, all right, I'll go there. I'll take the drive. No big deal, as long as I trust who's working on my car. I see what you're saying.
It's just in my head.
I see.
I've been through this so much.
I'm telling you, you're thinking I'm avoiding going to a local dealership? Who would?
No,
because,
but like,
no.
Did Did you take it there and they told you, no, this isn't?
You could check their records. I didn't take. I never got there.
Again, I'm taking your word for
No,
it.
I know, but you told me the situation that happened last time with the guy with the oil changes, and check the records. You'll see, I never made it there. I canceled the appointment. I have the text message when they confirm your appointment.
It's past all that, to be honest.
I know, but I want you to believe me. It would make this
tell you
easier
the
for everybody.
Truth. The truth. You don't seem like that type of person.
I'm not, and I don't like to waste time. I don't want to waste nobody's time. If it was flooded, I would have went to insurance. That's it.
Exactly, and then at that point, you don't want the car anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be...
I've had a flooded car.
Yeah.
2012, Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, yeah, it must have destroyed you guys.
When everybody in my family lost their car. They were floating. I know what a flooded car looks like.
Yeah.
When we had word of there possibly being a flood, not when Old Howard, I'm in New Howard, Old Howard flooded, but previously we had word of a hurricane coming. I took my car to my friend who has an elevated house, and I left it by his house for the day. There was no flood. I brought it back home.
Yeah.
This recent one, I didn't even know Old Howard Beach flooded, but New Howard Beach did not flood. You said somebody 2 blocks away. During Sandy, there were houses 2 blocks away from each other. One cars were floating, the other they weren't. I mean, I have all the footage of my car on that day.
That must have been hellacious, man.
It was. We lost a lot.
This fucking sucks.
But I know the process with a flooded
all
car.
those cars are right now.
Yeah, people made a lot of money off of that too.
Yeah, so that was gross.
But the recovery, we had no power. We had no heat. It was horrific.
that was a
The
rough
National
time.
Guard was coming up the block. But I mean, all that's irrelevant. I'm saying I know that a flooded car. I know the process. If it was flooded, I would have taken straight to insurance and got that fixed up.
I understand. So let's let him give me my answers that he's going to give to you too. As you said in the email, the customer will be notified.
Also, I went home and did some more research. Other than the people who are having the trunk issues of it not opening, I found 2 other people who had an issue with water getting into their trunk and their carpet being damp in the trunk.
So we base any of the, like when we call technical assistance and we tell them what's going on with the car, they type it in, that gives them the cases. Okay, so let's just use your car as the example, right? How are we getting this trunk open? No known method. And then you get, okay, one engineer says, no, he's going to have to cut a 3-inch hole, and this is the dimensions that you have to come in and come over and come across. This is where the mechanism is. They don't have it.
The dimensions and all that?
No, technical assistance doesn't have a case of your situation.
Oh, so that's what this was?
That's correct.
Okay.
So they go and they look on their engineering report, where is the mechanism that holds the trunk to the latch itself. And they say, all right, say it's...
Oh, so they want to cut that piece out.
If we do this, it's going to be right in the middle of your... You know where the Stingray is on the back?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to go, right there. They're going to drill a hole right
The
there.
latch is that far in?
Yeah.
It's not towards the back
Right,
of
no,
the
but
trunk?
as the trunk comes down, your trunk, edge of your trunk is here.
Yeah, and then
the hood
there's
comes down.
that lump where the carpet goes
That's
over.
correct. That's the point we're trying to make with you, because that's how far in the seal is.
Yeah.
It's past the latch. Protects the latch so it doesn't get water intrusion. It physically protects it. And then in being squeezed down even further makes that seal even tighter than the average car.
But that could happen afterwards. I mean, water could have been accumulating
Already
in
been
there.
sucked down prior to the...
No, I mean, if there's something wrong with the seal, water could have been accumulating. That could be why it stopped working and started working again. And maybe it was an ongoing issue that...
I have no idea. For me to tell you in a straight answer that I don't know, but it sounds
But
logical what I'm saying,
exactly,
but
yeah.
again, I'm not the engineer.
And I have a post I made online asking for help back to August about my trunk not working, and then a post saying, oh, it works now. Then another post in October saying, oh, it stopped working again. So I mean, everything,
I think about listen, all I can tell you is I hope for the best for you. Okay? And I mean that. And there's no reason. I would hope that after this is all said and done, you're still a customer. It's not about trying to burden you. I don't want you to think that.
I know, but
you protect you. This is going to be a $12,000 claim by the time I get done. It's the last thing I want, to be straight with you.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to get these big claims.
Why can't they just...
We do it.
Why can't they just pry it open and whatever breaks, breaks? If you got to replace it anyway.
It's going to destroy the cover anyway. So what they're basically, I agree with what you're saying, tear it apart, but what they want us to do. They want the whole mechanism.
I mean, they can't get a sawzall blade to just cut the hook on the bottom?
They want a 3
No, but I mean, they can't.
No, because that trunk that goes, I do it the opposite way. It goes like this, and then it comes up, and it goes, there's stages to it. When you pull that up, I'm going to show you one on the other side. It's actually deep. It's probably about that deep by the time we get into
I
this.
don't remember. So to get to the
Let's
hook.
just do our due diligence the way they want us to do it.
I mean, if I could think of a way that would save you guys a hassle too.
We looked at it. We actually spent quite a bit of time yesterday afternoon on the gray one that's outside.
And there's no way to get even like
Well, we thought about it. We were looking at
a
it. Like,
lubricant-
out behind the plate, like here's the.
What if you guys drilled the lock, right? I know there's a cable on the other side.
It's
And there's a cable connected to the lock, and manually try to pull the cable as a secondary release required.
it's electric.
No, but there's a cable attached to
Yeah,
the
that
manual
actually
release.
broke off?
No, he said the emergency release in the trunk
Yes.
broke off. But what about the one attached to the lock behind the
I
license
have no
plate?
idea. I have no
If he
idea.
drilled, maybe you guys could just save yourself and drill just that lock and then manually pull the cable. Because there's a second cable there.
I don't know. I'll answer that question for you. I absolutely will. Because we thought about cutting, say, and then we wouldn't do anything. You would never see it. The only time it'd be a problem is if you were to sell the car, you'd have a hole behind the plate. We thought about going behind the plate. So when we had the bumper off of the other gray one yesterday,
Then you
there's a
don't you
steel
have to,
plate.
yeah, the file one.
Right,
all
there's
that,
a
right?
steel
Yeah.
plate there, but it's 4 screws that hold that latch in. But there's that one. You can't, you could not even get a wrench because the studs actually stick out a little bit further. And you can get the wrench in here, but you're not going to be able to get it back.
Onto the stud.
To get onto the stud. How can we do this without destroying this trunk lid, And, but let the engineer do his thing.
Even if you guys had to drill, what if you drilled a little smaller under the Stingray, and then I got that done, or we got that done at a body shop, and then
I don't think you're going to be able, because we have to be able to get
the whole hatch off, the latch off.
When we drill the hole, it's supposed to be able to lift the trunk up, and that's going to stay in position with the latch. So I wrote another repair order on it this morning for estimate purposes only, so we have an idea of what we need, how long it's going to be to get anything, and then I have to get that over to engineering as well this week, as soon as they get it for me, and they're doing it now.
Okay.
So I promise you, I will keep you in the loop.
I appreciate
A lot of it's going to come through email from General Motors, is most of it will.
Okay.
But I'll be CC to it as well. Anything I have to add to it, I will.
Okay.
100% for you.
To say you're much easier to talk to today. Thank you.
I apologize if I came off abrasive because I'm not that.
I
I'm not that
understand
guy.
you feel like you caught somebody in a lie, but I'm telling you,
No, I'm
this
not.
is
I
just
wasn't looking to
everything.
catch anybody in a lie.
Everything just
It makes
was
my
against
life-
my
look at it
odds.
this way, It makes life a little easier when people tell me the truth up front. And that's just the way it goes. All right. let me
I've been
see-
straight
let me
with
see
you
what-
all along.
And I could tell. You wouldn't keep coming back with me. But I could then say I have this empowerment to go into General Motors and deviate from anything that there's a problem with. Like, so you came to me and said, listen, my car just got flooded up. I have a bad latch. I was wondering if you can help me. I go in here, into this screen right there, I put your name, mileage, all the doodads, and then I click on one of these, policy adjustment, deviate from policy tools, warranty block repair. I can override it and get it authorized. So simplicity would be,
Well, I mean,
this is what happened.
and that's my personality. If I did have an
One
issue,
time goodwill, anything else that goes wrong with the car, they're not going to cover. That's what would happen.
if I had something like that, I would have been open with you, and I would have asked you to help me out. If not, okay.
And I get that, but I definitely, by no stretch of the imagination, was I never felt like this guy's full of shit. I could tell.
Well, she knows for a fact, because she lives next door, that my car wasn't flooded. So she probably mentioned, let's cut the bullshit. Let's everybody, my son's telling the truth. Let's just get this, corrected.
I understand. So let us do a thing, and I'll call you later on today.
All right. Oh, today? Cool.
Yeah, I anticipated, but I don't think it's going to go wrong on that.
All right. Sounds good. Okay.
What his findings are, they did not discuss anything with us in yours. I'm going to start by saying, I think you may have been on the thread where they said that they would not allow you to be with him.
What's that?
Were you on the email that stated that, it stated that he would not discuss anything with the customer in
Oh, no, I didn't know.
person, yeah. So let me do my findings. He's got to report to his boss, who's the head of engineering for Corvettes.
Okay.
and it will come to me in an email form that I can forward to you.
Okay, so, but you were there when he inspected the
No,
vehicle?
he went and did his own thing.
Oh, he did.
He brought his own equipment with him.
He
Obviously
didn't-
took him down to the car, talked to him for a few minutes, and not even really about the car, because he doesn't want to hear my opinion. Doesn't want to hear anybody's opinion. He's going to make his own judgment.
Okay.
He had a bunch of stuff with him, cameras and so forth, and snakes that
Okay,
got
so,
to certain spots in the car that.
but I'm assuming he didn't get the trunk open.
No, nobody got the trunk open. So as soon as he lets me know, I know he was going to Brand Engineering. He was like, I think the guy's name is Dave.
He's going there, like physically?
No,
Oh,
he's
going
going to
there. Okay,
phone
okay.
and so forth. And then he'll forward him anything that he found, the pictures that he has, and then we take it from there. But you'll have everything that he gives me, you can have. There's no reason to,
Okay,
You'll have
so
a-
he would,
even
even if I was here when he was here, he wouldn't have spoke with
No,
me?
he wouldn't, no. I didn't realize, like, you can't conversate with these guys. I'm just trying to find an email. Just one. It did say, it said the customer will have no contact.
Well, it's irrelevant now, he already came. And do we know when we'll hear back?
Company policy states customers are not allowed during FSC inspection. FSC will report findings, we will update customer.
FSC?
Yeah,
What's
field
that?
service engineer.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's with your case number and everything on it, so. He will tell you, they gotta show you, they gotta expose exactly what they found to you.
Okay, and that's, I'm assuming he didn't discuss anything with Eric either?
No, he didn't give anybody a fuzzy feeling or a positive feeling, to be straight with you.
Okay.
And that's Dan, I've known Dan 30 years, 26 to be exact, but, when he finds out what it is and what he's found or what he sees, he'll let us know.
Okay.
And then he'll take it from there.
All right.
Good, bad, or ugly, I'll let you know.
Okay.
The only conversation that I did have with him is, if you open this thing up and we find evidence of failure, like a mechanical failure or on GM, then there's no more conversation to you. It's just a matter of when do you want us to put the car down, because it's going to be a period of time before we see any of these parts.
Yeah.
So he said either way, you're going to have to let the customer know that if we have to drill a hole in it, it's on us until it's not on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I would be able to hold off, except for the fact that, if I need oil change and stuff.
Right.
I mean,
Could you squeeze 1,000 miles out of the oil? You could. Do I recommend it? Not really, but could you drive it and not worried about it? Yes, you could.
Picking my car up from the dealer that wouldn't help me. This is how they have it. Keeping it nice and clean for me, I see. Oh, look at the water where he said no water should enter. Glad they took such good care of it for me. See if the trunk opens today. It does not. We are taking it out of here. Gonna take it home. Bring it to a new dealership that actually wants to help me.